I'm Ingrid Gonzalez McCurdy. I'm the Senior Policy Advisor for Senator Rachel May, also Dr. Rachel May. Joining me is Dr. Laurie Clivic, Director of Senior Services with InterFaith Works. I'd like to also thank my colleagues behind the scenes, Dan Messinio and Nidecia Hernandez, for their work in putting this webinar together today. We're going to hear from Senator May in just a moment after a few brief announcements.
Excuse me. Hi, everyone. I'm Laurie Clivic from InterFaith Works. Thank you, Ingrid, for getting us started off here. Just a few quick housekeeping notes. There will be several opportunities for the panelists to answer your questions throughout our time together. Please feel free to type them in to the Q&A area on Zoom. You should be seeing a question and answer spot where you can type in your questions. If you are joining us from Facebook, I believe we have people monitoring the Facebook chat as well, so you can enter in questions there. You can also use the raise your hand feature to ask a question later in the panel. We will keep participants muted while the panelists are speaking.
So the panelists that will be supporting us today include Maria Alvarez and Melissa Kinney with StateWide Senior Action Council.
And we have Kim Dill with us from SAGE Upstate.
We also have Lynn Fox with Clear Path for Veterans.
And we welcome Rachel Johnson from the Dunbar Association in Syracuse.
And then Laurie Clivic will wrap us up talking about the programs for seniors that InterFaith Works provides. So all participants in today's session will receive a copy of Senator May's Senior Resources Guide. We're going to paste an electronic version of that in the chat today, and we're also going to make a hard copy of that publication available. We'll provide instructions later in the program for how to receive a guide. So Dan is showing you a little bit about what the guide looks like. Thank you, Dan. So thank you, all of you, for being with us today to learn about Aging Your Way. We'd like to now turn the program over to our esteemed Senator, Senator Rachel May, representing the 53rd District and Chair of the New York State Standing Committee on Aging. Senator?
Thank you, Ingrid and Laurie, and everyone who's joined us today, and to all of my staff who are helping out. Dan, this is your first webinar, I think, that you've been administrator for, so thank you for making everything go so smoothly. I want to welcome the panelists today and just join everybody in celebration of Older Americans Month. Older adults are living longer and have a wealth of knowledge and experience to share. And so the theme of Age Your Way is, I think, a really positive one to be focusing on this year. Older Americans are important financial and social contributors to the fabric of our communities. And they, and I should say we, have unique stories to share. It can be challenging to know how to access resources, activities, and services in today's rapidly changing world, and to design a life where you can age your way. So today's session is about bringing that information together, talking about aging well, and learning directly from community members about the services and activities that are available to older adults in Central New York. I'm very proud of our Senior Resource Guide, which is helping lots of people connect to each other and to the services that are out there. And looking forward to hearing from our panelists who have a lot to say about many of these issues. So I want to start with our first speaker, Maria Alvarez. She's the Executive Director of the Statewide Senior Action Council. And she's joined by Melissa Kinney, Community Organizer and Partnership Coordinator. Statewide Senior Action was founded in 1972 to work on behalf of all New York State seniors as part of the war on poverty. So for 50 years, Statewide has been dedicated to providing a unified voice on behalf of older New Yorkers and especially as an advocate for low-income older adults. StateWide operates a state-funded patients' rights and advocacy hotline to assist all New Yorkers in their rights as healthcare consumers. They also assist Medicare enrollees by providing counseling on coverage options and assist with enrollment in EPIC and the Medicare Savings Program, which I'm pleased to say we expanded in this year's budget. We are pleased to have StateWide as a strong partner for older New Yorkers. So thank you, Melissa and Maria, for being with us today.
Thank you very much, Senator May, for inviting us and for giving us the opportunity to speak with your constituency. Hold on one second. I just wanted to share my screen, but anyway. So New York Statewide Senior Action Council is a, like the senator said, is a 50-year organization. We are a grassroots organization that provides services in the community. One of the things that sets us apart from a lot of other organizations is that we have a board and membership that is truly consumer. So we're able to not only understand what the concerns in the community are, but also we also help people and then can inform others about the effects of policies on people's everyday life, and then effect positive change. And we do that through a couple of ways. One is our 800 number, which you see on top. Those are 3 helplines. One is the Senior Medicare Patrol, which helps to prevent, detect, and inform and report all of the healthcare fraud. So if anybody has any question or suspects that they've been a victim of fraud, they could call our helpline. We will help them remediate that situation. The other one is the Managed Care Consumer Assistance Project, which helps people navigate the system. So especially during the annual enrollment period, but certainly during the entire year, what we do is we assist people to navigate the system. If they have questions about whether or not they have the right insurance, if they have prescription drug issues, too costly, or they're looking for other options, call us. We are our helplines are manned by counselors who are all certified and provide services, free services, as well as unbiased services. So we're not selling anything. We're not a broker. What we do is we provide information so that people can make the best decisions regarding their healthcare and their lifestyles. And then, of course, our other helpline is the Patients' Rights Helpline, which helps people assert their rights as patients or residents in hospitals and nursing homes. So those are our services. However, we also have chapters all over the state, and those chapters are valuable because they are made up of volunteers, consumers that inform us what is happening in their community, how these policies affect them, and then we get together to advocate for positive change. Like we mentioned, this is our 50th anniversary. We are going to have a convention. Our annual convention will be in Saratoga Springs in person. So we're very excited. So we want everybody to come. And again, if you need more information, you could call us. However, I have an important announcement today. And it's that we are going to start a chapter. We have chapters all over the state, but we're going to have one in Onondaga County, and that's why Melissa Kinney is here. And I wanted to introduce her to you, as well as to let you know what our involvement specifically in Onondaga County has been so far. Go ahead, Melissa.
Thank you, Maria. Go ahead and I will share my screen. Go, let's present. All right, a new chapter begins in Onondaga County. Again, I'm Melissa Kinney, a community organizer and partnership coordinator in 4 counties, specifically today in Onondaga County. I have been working for a couple of years now in Central New York. One of the goals and the projects that I've been working on is the CNY Health Access Task Force, specifically Onondaga County. We came up with some task forces to work in our community. We've been meeting monthly. Some of my task force members are on today, which is wonderful. I appreciate your support in more ways than they can understand. It's great to see you guys today. We brought these task forces in our communities together to obtain community trust, to continue to identify barriers to healthcare, and to create local creative solutions to improve access to healthcare. A lot of people think that you need a lot of money and a lot of access to resources to come up with solutions for our healthcare problems. With our task forces, we have been able to come together creatively to come up with solutions. In a couple of moments, I will introduce you to some of those creative solutions that we have come up with as a group in Central New York. Across 8 counties, Cayuga, Cortland, Herkimer, Oswego, Madison, Oneida, Onondaga, and Tompkins counties, we have about 200 members. And those 200 members receive monthly updates, and we meet with a lot of them through Zoom, phone calls, emails, and projects in person, socially distanced and masked, which is wonderful to keep safe. We meet up and we work on projects together. Over the course of the past couple of years, we've had 180 events together, including those monthly meetings. Personally, I do 4 meetings a month with my groups. We have had in-person events like the Cayuga Dental Day, Run for All, which was an accessible event in Cortland County. My colleague Stefania had put that together with her Cayuga task force, or excuse me, Cortland task force. We had a hygiene drive in Onondaga County where we collected hundreds of items for community members, hygiene supplies, toothbrushes, toothpaste, and 8+ CNY health hubs where we had community experts come together and present on topics like dental health and mental health. And these are just a few of the partner organizations that our task force members belong to, work with, and work for. Peace Inc., for example, is a wonderful organization in Onondaga County. We have, oh goodness, sorry. We have task force members, it's really windy here. We have task force members who work for Peace Inc., and they were the community organization that allowed us to bring our hygiene supplies to them for collection and then distribute them to food pantries and other organizations in Onondaga County. We also have community members who work with the Syracuse Northeast Community Center. One of our task force members is on this call, Laurie, with InterFaith Works, which is wonderful. Thank you, Laurie. One of our task force members, Ellen, she's on this call also today. She works for the Onondaga County Office for the Aging Caregiver Services. She makes referrals to me for community members who need help with Medicare services. Ellen actually referred a community member to me today who would be interested in being a chapter member, which is wonderful. And I've been on the calls with her this morning, just doing community outreach. Wonderful opportunities to work with Onondaga community members. Specifically, our Onondaga Health Access Task Force, we met continuously virtually over the phone. Sometimes we had 1 or 2 meetings a month to accommodate people's schedules. After work hours during the day, we met monthly. That hygiene supply drive, which benefited local community organizations, was hosted at Peace Inc. We hosted virtual information sessions called our CNY Health Hubs. Topics such as advanced care planning, which was hosted by a local organization, CNY, or excuse me, Community Health Advocates, wonderful organization. Implications of mental health, substance misuse, and suicide due to COVID-19, very important, really affects a lot of people in Onondaga County. And most recently, medical debt, which has been affecting a lot of people in Onondaga County with the hospitals. And another big one was the CNY health initiative, or telehealth initiative, which was very big. Our healthcare access prior to the pandemic was difficult, people getting to their health appointments, mental health appointments. And with the pandemic, people were having difficulty getting to appointments, keeping those appointments due to lack of access, lack of provider access. So we came together and found that there were community locations and access to libraries in each community. And we worked with some of the locations in and around Onondaga County, like Liverpool Public Library, Manlius, Baldwinsville, Maxwell Memorial Library, and each of the Northern Onondaga Public Libraries, Cicero, North Syracuse, and Brewerton. All of those locations are available for community members to use for telehealth appointments. Each of them, if you contact them, will have various degrees of access for telehealth. You can go in, you can use their computer equipment to have your appointment, or at the very least, you can use their equipment, their Wi-Fi connection in the parking lot, or use your laptop outside now that the weather is beautiful. Because of creative solutions that our members have come up with, we've been able to cross some of those barriers to healthcare with sometimes no funding available or very little funding using existing infrastructure in our communities. And we're looking to continue to expand this into more libraries in Onondaga County and into more common areas around Onondaga County. So some areas like YMCAs and some other community centers, just to make healthcare a little bit more accessible to community members who may not have great transportation options. As Maria said, we would love to organize a chapter in Onondaga County for our seniors and other community members who are like-minded. The national progression based on those activities and community interest is to form this statewide chapter here in Onondaga County. The purpose of this chapter is to invite consumers and interested community parties basically to improve the lives of seniors and families in Onondaga County. The purpose of today, obviously, is to honor seniors, but it's also to improve the lives of everyone in Onondaga County. If you improve a community for seniors and older individuals in a community, it's going to expand beyond the boundaries of improving lives for seniors and make the community better for everyone. So we want to improve through outreach, information, and advocacy. Through this chapter, we hope to develop in the community an awareness of the needs and capabilities of older individuals. Because you're older, it doesn't mean that you've exceeded your availability and your options for that community. You can contribute and you can do great things. And we hope that you can bring those great things to our statewide chapter and make the community better for everyone. So together we can improve the lives of seniors and families in Onondaga County through information and advocacy. So join us, join me. Contact me, here's my email, my direct phone number, which again, has been used several times with one of the Onondaga community members this morning. Arlene and I are going to be really good friends, and you can call the 800 number that Maria has above her or here. Thanks.
That was great. I want to thank Maria and Melissa, and I'm so excited about a chapter in Onondaga County. So anything we can do to help, we want to be there for you and for the seniors in this county. So I'm afraid I need to get going, but I'm leaving you in capable hands, and I know there is a lot to learn from the coming panelists as well. So thanks again to everybody who organized this and everybody who is participating or just joining us to learn. And have a wonderful day, everybody.
Thank you, Senator, for all you do on behalf of seniors.
Thank you.
So next, we're going to take a look at a short video that challenges us to consider our frame of mind. After all, we're all aging.
For example, older adults are a challenge for our healthcare system. They make a lot of demands on a system that is not prepared to care for them. An us statement is inclusive and helps all of us see ourselves in the issue and in the solution. For example, we need a healthcare system that is built to help all of us live well as we age. When choosing photos, images of diverse older people interacting with others send a more inclusive message. When we shift from them to us, we promote a more realistic, inclusive view of aging, reduce bias, and build support for policies and programs that can help all of us at every age. The Reframing Aging Initiative provides free evidence-based tools to help us get there. Learn more at reframingaging.org.
So this video challenges us to think about aging as something that we all do. It's part of all of us. And we have heard recently that seniors are now referred to as older adults, and sometimes they're referred to as the elderly. And I'm wondering for folks on the webinar today, if you're able to type into the chat, what do you prefer to be called? Does senior work well for you? That's been around since the early 1970s. Elderly, older adult, or is there another term? So we're going to take a look at what folks are saying.
Yeah, I see in the chat, we've got a couple people saying older adults, seniors is good. Someone prefers to just be called an adult. Another person says, I don't care for any labels.
Ah, okay. Great. Well, thank you for sharing your thoughts with us on that.
Yeah, and the terms have different connotations now. So they're what they mean and what they mean to individual people is changing, right? And another no label.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. Our next panelist, Dill, will describe the resources that are available to our community benefiting older LGBTQ individuals. Kim has been the executive director of SAGE Upstate since 2003, leading the organization in efforts to improve health and reduce isolation for older LGBTQ people in Central New York. SAGE also works with providers of aging services on how to make their programs more affirming for older LGBTQ people. Kim has spent 30+ years working in nonprofits serving the LGBTQ community, and she has a master's in sociology. So please join me in welcoming Kim.
Well, thank you, Ingrid. Thank you, Laurie, for the work to bring this together. Thank you, Senator May, for making this conference possible. Very exciting to hear about the task force from Melissa and Maria. So I want to talk to you both more about that. But I'm here today to talk about SAGE Upstate, and our mission is to reduce isolation and improve health for older lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer and questioning adults in Central New York. Now, if it's okay with you, from here on out, I'm just going to say LGBTQ, because that is a lot to say. So we serve this community of LGBTQ people who are less likely to have family or children to rely on for support, and also more likely to live alone. And despite this lack of support, LGBTQ people are less likely to reach out to services that might help, because we fear that we will be discriminated against, or there will be prejudice. And really the last thing you need when you're down and looking for help is somebody to, have a problem with your sexual orientation or gender identity. So we're less likely to reach out. And speaking of sexual orientation and gender identity, I just want to point out that these are two different terms. Sometimes they're used interchangeably, but actually sexual orientation refers to who you're attracted to, and gender identity refers to who you are, the gender you identify with. And SAGE serves a community that is both sexual orientations and gender identities: lesbian, gay, bisexual, sexual orientations, transgender, gender identities. And we do this by offering health programs, support in social groups, education for providers and others, drop-in center, and most recently, a neighborhood advisor for older LGBTQ people in Central New York. And I'm going to take those one by one, but let me just give you a little bit of history about our organization. It was established in 1997, 25 years ago, by a group of older LGBTQ people who met with other people in the community, with local professionals, had got a lot of support from the Onondaga County Office for Aging. And they called a meeting and asked the people there, do you think Syracuse, Central New York, needs an organization to serve this community? And the people there thought, yes, they did. But the other thing that came out of that meeting was the most common sort of concern or issue that was raised was, who's going to take care of me when I'm older? People would say, I take care of my mother now. I take her to a hospital or to her doctor's appointments, get her prescriptions. I don't have any kids. Who's going to take care of me? And since that day, SAGE has worked to come up with the answer to that question. They met as an all-volunteer organization for 6 years. And then in 2003, with the help of the state grant, they opened an office and hired me, a staff person. So what does SAGE offer? We offer health programs, and these include like movement, activity. We have an exercise class that meets twice a week. We have a walking group that meets once a week, but it also includes health information programs, and also information in our newsletter and website. We're at sageupstate.org. Easy to remember if you know the name of our organization, just put .org after it. So that's the health, but also we offer social and support programs. Social sounds a little bit like fluff, like, oh yeah, they're going to get together. And actually we have a knitter group, a writing group, things like that. But we really think these are central to our mission, because what we're doing is creating a safe space for older LGBTQ adults to come together and form friendships and support networks. And that's who's going to help you when you're older, right? That's who's going to take care of you. We also provide education for providers of aging services and other audiences. We find that more often than not, providers really want to serve everybody they are seeing, including LGBTQ people. They just need some information, and we're happy to give that to them. And we partner with them. We have a drop-in center. It's in the CNY Philanthropy Center building, if you know where that is, Fayette and Townsend Streets. We have a lending library, we have computers, and we have a meeting space. And right now we're trying to get back to our pre-COVID levels of programs, which is about 40 program meetings a month. We're not there yet. In March 20, we took everything on Zoom, and it's this this month actually that most of the stuff is coming back. So it's been a long, long time. Most recently, we offer the Neighborhood Advisor Program, and that is funded by the Onondaga County Department of Adult and Long-Term Care Services. And this worker reaches out to older LGBTQ people in the community and offers information on resources and programs that can help older adults empower themselves, remain active and independent in the community. So we're here as a resource for the community, for trainings, information, a place where you can call or LGBTQ people can come to get support and get connected. And that's SAGE. We hope you'll use this for a resource, but I want to end with something that is on everybody's mind that I'm talking to lately. It almost feels like we're watching history repeat itself. We grew up in areas where it was illegal to have a relationship with someone of the same sex. It was illegal to express oneself in a way that did not go along with our gender. We were told we were sinners, criminals, mentally ill, assumed to be harmful to children, seen as a risk in the military. And not only could we not marry, but we couldn't even have relationships with someone of the same sex or wear clothes that people didn't think went with our gender. And we're watching these reports of the Don't Say Gay bill and laws that criminalize, care or support for transgender kids. And it's scary because we worked a very long time to get out of that, and we don't want to go back. Here in New York, we're safer. We have the Sexual Orientation Non-Discrimination Act and the Gender Expression Non-Discrimination Act. But we want to also, and I wish I had the poster, but hopefully you can see this. Whoops. It's tricky with the background. It's a poster. It's hate-free zone, and we have tons of them. We'd love if you have these. If you'd like to post one in your place, so everybody knows that there is a hate-free zone near them in this state. So thank you so much for inviting us, and I hope you'll call on us.
Thank you very much, Kim, for sharing about SAGE Upstate and all the good work that you're doing for LGBTQ people. So next we have an opportunity to have you ask some questions. So if you would like to go ahead and post a question either in the chat or in Q&A. And Dan is also monitoring Facebook and will let us know if there are any questions out there. So the first one relates to a new property tax credit that's in the New York State budget for older adults. So we're going to gather some information about that for you and get that information out to you. How about any other questions for us?
There's a question maybe from Facebook. How can the community reach out to get the posters?
You can call me at Sage Upstate or email me at Sage Upstate. Our website is sageupstate.org. We're there Mondays and Wednesdays and Thursdays, definitely, usually all through the week in the center. Our number is 315-478-1923. And I'm sure if you got a hold of Ingrid or Laurie, they could hook you up and get connected. But we have it in our center.
Say your number again. I'm putting it in the chat. 315-478.
Yes, it is. I should have done that. 315-478-1923. Give us a call.
1923. Sage. Great. Thank you.
Excellent. Other questions? Okay, so Laurie?
All right, so many of our older community members have served in the armed forces, and we are fortunate here in Central New York to have an agency that is known nationally for its outstanding work with veterans. Lynn Fox is here with us from ClearPath. She has been their community outreach manager for veterans, or excuse me, at ClearPath for Veterans since 2014. After a long career with the Red Cross, the American Red Cross, she worked in the district office of Congresswoman Anne Marie Burkle, handling constituent services and immigration, citizenship, and refugee cases. She volunteered with ClearPath and then became their first community outreach manager. She feels there's no better time spent than serving our veterans and those who have given so much to our country. Lynn joins us today to share information about how ClearPath supports the community of veterans here in Central New York. So welcome, Lynn. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. And I do want to say, you know, I'm getting a lot of razzing at work why I was chosen for Older American Month to speak on this panel. So they're having some fun with it back at work. But thank you for having me. I pretty much have all good news for the community and want to thank our community for ClearPath for Veterans. We're rather new non-for-profit because we just got started in 2011 without any staff. I would like to, first of all, invite everybody to ClearPath who hasn't. Well, maybe you've already been there. I'm inviting you back. But anybody who hasn't seen this very special place in our community, please come see me. And I'm inviting you for a complimentary lunch every Wednesday where we serve our veterans and our families and for just some socialization and a beautiful lunch. It's not a soup kitchen. It is a a lunch prepared by a chef. And community members, volunteers that come every week to prepare this beautiful lunch and to see our beautiful grounds. And when I say beautiful, to those of you that have seen it, we can see over 100 miles from our front windows. And I don't exaggerate saying that. You can see from Oswego to the foothills of the Adirondacks. We are in Chittenango, New York. We're sort of not in the village, but we are the old Sky Ridge Country Club, if anybody remembers that. And it was purchased by a wonderful lady in our community, Melissa Spicer. She took her own personal finances to buy the property to give back to our veterans, to support them coming home. All veterans, all ages, regardless of discharge status, we just treat in a beautiful, holistic, supporting manner. I'm going to go through some of our programs and give you an idea. Our website is pretty good. It's clearpathforvets.com. If anybody wants to check that out and check out our events calendar and see what's going on and or sign up for our newsletter. I encourage everybody to do that. It's just an email newsletter that we send out once a month. That's going to look something like this, if anybody can see it. And we're going to tell you what's going on with us. I mentioned Canteen. That's what Melissa pretty much started. She started Canteen and the Canine program. Back 10 years ago, it was called Dogs to Vets. Now it's called ClearPath for Veterans Canine Program. We've taken that program from a good program to a great program, where again, we like to say that we are completely non-clinical. However, the veterans in the canine program do have a clinical diagnosis of PTSD, or they've been through some kind of military sexual trauma, or they've got a traumatic brain injury. What we do is we provide a purpose-bred dog. They are English labs that we are that have been bred for service. I just got 4 new co-workers last week with 4 legs that are the most beautiful puppies in the world. They actually live with a community member right now, so I'll encourage you to learn more about that too, because those puppies will be brought up by a foster family that will train with that dog and keep the dog for about a year. And believe it or not, bring the dog, well, they come back to us weekly for training, but bring the dog back after a year, and then we put that dog pretty much through a boot camp. Really intense training, and match that dog with a veteran. And then that veteran continues the training and has a service dog supporting that veteran and making their life better or easier. You think about things like when you are depressed or maybe going through PTSD, a lot of people just hunker down in their basement and hang out, maybe playing video games or self-medicate. And what does a dog make you do? A dog makes you take them outside and come play with me and get moving. And it's all good. So I encourage all of you to come out and see this fantastic program. We are bursting at the seams, though. I'm going to warn you when you come out. It's a good problem to have, that we are growing very quickly, the canine program and all our other programs. So we are looking to expand on our property and have a standalone building for just the canine program, but we're working on all kinds of things. Along with that, we support, I talked about canteen. We support our veterans and their families. You'll hear me say everything is complimentary, everything. We support them in a holistic healing manner in a wellness wing. So I'm just looking at our upcoming events right now, and we are offering Reiki, reflexology, massage, quantum touch. Yesterday we had mindfulness, all kinds of things that support the human body in a holistic healing manner without invasive treatment. We have an art house and a woodworking shop. We have 78 acres of beautiful property and hiking trails to just relax on. A lot of people come out, a lot of our veterans come out and find the grounds extremely spiritual and relaxing. We have a peer mentor program. This is a huge program of ours too, that the state supports through the Dwyer grant. And what that is they are veterans on our staff that meet with veterans. So it's a peer-to-peer mentoring with helping a veteran with whatever they need, whether they're facing homelessness, they need some food assistance. We're not just going to put a Band-Aid on that problem. We're going to say, okay, why are you out of food? What's going on here? So we're going to help them through our pantry and get them all set, and then work with community pantries. However, we're going to dig a little deeper, and it's vet to vet, so that they can relate to each other. And if any of you have veterans in the family, they know that sometimes they don't talk a lot about what happened and what they did. But if they see another veteran, it's a different story. That brotherhood or sisterhood is very, very bonding. So that's what we do with our peer mentor program. Right now we are in about, I think we're up to about 36 counties around central New York where we have a peer on staff that will go and meet that veteran where they are. I know I'm probably skipping a lot. I have to give a ton of credit to our volunteers and the community who has supported us in our growth. As Laurie mentioned, we have been noticed nationwide. That's very exciting for us. This November, I visited ClearPath, New England. And so we got started right here in central New York, but there is a ClearPath now in Devens, Massachusetts. And we have a national outreach director too that will be going throughout the country to say, hey, Wisconsin, why don't you have a ClearPath for veterans and follow our lead? And so we'd be like a franchise where they have to follow our lead, but do their own fundraising. It's very exciting for us because, again, I think we're pretty much the only veteran organization around that has wraparound services and as many services as we have for the veteran and their family. And again, when I say family, whatever their family is, we ask very few questions there, and we want to keep it that way. We also have a Warriors Working program. So an employment specialist on staff who works with veterans, not just to get them a job, but maybe a career. We get lots of calls and inquiries from local companies and organizations that want to hire veterans. We think that's wonderful. So not only will we place them in a good spot, we follow up with that company and make sure that it's a good match. Along with that, I run what is called the summit meetings. I know some of you organizations are already involved with us. Thank you very much for participating in the summit meetings. And what those are is I host about 6-7 times a year Now because of COVID, we are doing it hybrid. So we do Zoom and in person at ClearPath. It's a good chance to come out and see our property, and we feed you at the summit meetings too. They are usually around 1 o'clock on a Thursday. The next one is June, I want to say 20. Let me just check on that. Yep, June 23rd. What I do is bring all these organizations together, and I'll have a couple speakers from those organizations. Sage Vets was a speaker in the past, so that we could learn more, not just about Sage, but the program that supports veterans through Sage. And we'll have a couple speakers, and then we just network and share ideas and find out what everybody else is doing. And it's just a good thing to get together. So again, I encourage you, if you're interested in joining the summit group, to just email me. I'm Lynn, Lynn, at clearpathforvets.com. I'll put it in the chat. I will leave, I'm sure we're going to have another Q&A if there's any questions. But the biggest thing I'd like to say is thank you to the community for supporting us. And please, everyone, come out and see this very special place. Whether you're a veteran or not, good idea. If you know a veteran, bring them out. Tell them you're taking them to lunch, and then we take care of that. So thanks again for having me, and I hope to see everyone at ClearPath.
Great. Thank you very much, Lynn, for sharing about your excellent program. It's a wonderful gem that we have in our community and a beautiful place. Thank you. So next, my colleague, Nidicia Hernandez, will introduce our next speaker.
Lynn, I just wanted to let you know that Bill Kirchhoff mentioned that he just became a volunteer and he loves the view and cares the care that he gives to veterans.
Good, that's wonderful. Yeah, a lot of our veterans become volunteers too, because they come into this place and they feel the sense of family, and they say, we don't want to leave, so how can I help? It's just great. And we do ask everybody to just pay it forward somehow, some way, pay it forward and make the community a better place. Thank you for saying that.
Yes. Thank you, Kim, for all you do at Sage. And we also know that impoverished communities and Black and Brown communities also suffer from disproportionate resources to their elderlies. With that being said, I am pleased to introduce Rachel Johnson, Program Director from the Dunbar Association, a non-for-profit located on the south side of Syracuse. She is a Buffalo native. She has served the Syracuse community for the past decade. Rachel is a social worker and marriage and family therapist, serving in community-based, non-for-profit leadership roles in mental health, reproductive health, and program development. Her current work with the Dunbar Association serves youth, families, and seniors. And please welcome Rachel, and thank you, Rachel.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much to Senator Rachel May and the team to pull this together. And I got in the last hour, so I'm excited to be here. And it is sunny in Syracuse, so it's a wonderful day for us today. I'm just going to take a brief few moments, I promise to be brief, and tell you a little bit more about the wonderful organization, Dunbar. Dunbar has been around for over a decade. Actually over a century. I've been here for a decade. So Dunbar has been around for over a century and has remained a staple in the community. We are located right on the south side of Syracuse and have seen many generations of individuals and families grow up and go on to lead very empowering and healthy lives. Our core mission is to enhance the quality of life, break the cycle of generational poverty, and develop racial equity in our community. Our senior services program is built on the threads of connection, autonomy, and visibility. These are pieces and threads that our aging population often get missed, right? And so the opportunity to connect and reduce isolation, the opportunity to be in control and have autonomy of their choices and the life that they want to live. Invisibility. There's a lot of erasure of the aging population in media and in representation and in conversations, right? And so our goal here at Dunbar is to combat that in the way that we best know how. And part of that is by allowing our, it's the nothing for us without us kind of model, right? And so allowing our senior services program to be ran and created and curated by Senior Services. We offer 3 tiers of programming: transportation, neighborhood advisor, and our actual programming. So transportation. So when you talk about connectivity, part of it is getting there, right? It is also getting to medical appointments. It's getting to places where you feel connected, like spiritual entities. It is getting to meal sites so that you make sure that you have fresh and hot food prepared for you every day. And so it's also meeting some of those basic needs. So our transportation program provides transportation in the city of Syracuse to individuals that are, excuse me, 60 and up. And it can be to the grocery store. We do weekly grocery store runs to the Walmarts and the Wegmans. You could, you know, that is the point of contention on where people grocery shop, okay? Because if you've been grocery shopping at Aldi all your life, it's a little hard to get somebody to go to Wegmans, okay? But we also, in tandem with that program, make sure that everyone has those it really doesn't work at Wegmans, but like the Tops cards or the you know, we infuse financial literacy and budgeting in that program, right? Our grocery run program, making sure that we have coupons where necessary, and inside of the summer months, we take trips to our local why is it escaping me? Fresh food spots. Somebody has a word for it. It'll come. Y'all know what it is. Yes, so when it comes to me, I'll let you guys know. But you know, farmers market. There you go. See, somebody gave that to me. Thank you for that. Yes, thank you. So yes, so we take a trip to our local farmers market throughout the summer months. But we're not just transporting them there, but we're having conversations about how we can maximize our resources and how we can up our fruits and veggies intake, and having conversations about, you know, managing our sugar intake, and you know, so it's a really robust program. But yes, so in short and sweet, we provide transportation to mill sites, to grocery stores, pharmacy runs, medical appointments, and spiritual entities. So if you want to go to church or a Bible study, or to places where you feel connected, then we will make sure you get there. The second program we offer in partnership with the Office of Aging, the Onondaga County Office of Aging, is our Neighborhood Advisor program. And so we have 2 part-time neighborhood advisors that whose entire goal is information and assistance. So making sure our aging population has access to important and pertinent information. And that could be anything from filling out a HEAP application to where is the nearest fitness entity that will serve seniors. And so making sure that we can get them not only information but assistance. So getting them connected and linked to organizations and or resources that are helpful for them. And then our third one is our programming. So we do programming Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We have a part-time kind of day programming in tandem with Peace Incorporated. We offer fresh meals on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. That is open to any senior in the city of Syracuse. We also have structured programming, fitness Fridays, book club, spiritual enrichment, small group therapy. We offer all of our senior small group therapy on Wednesday mornings, free of charge. because I think that's also a big piece of erasure that's missed is mental health. So supporting the mental health of aging individuals, the levels of grief and loss and transition that needs to be processed continuously, and providing a space so that can happen. So yeah, that's really Dunbar in the short and sweet. Dunbar serves our senior population. We also serve youth and families. We also have a workforce development program, and so we try to do a lot of the things. And this summer, we're really excited to start a garden club and some other things so that our senior population and our youth population have the opportunity to work together. So really, I think the seniors are going to supervise the youth in the planting, but it'll be a really great way to increase not connection in general, but also intergenerational connection. So yeah, that's it, Dunbar. You all can reach out to us at 315-760-3155. And I'm sure that that's either going to go in the chat or I can put that anyone that is hoping to be connected. And as mentioned previously, the disproportion of services and access of services in the African American and Black community is very large. And so we pride ourselves on being able to tap into that population and provide support and programming that is tailored to the needs of that community. So thank you to everyone on the panel for all of the work that you do and for inviting me here today.
Thanks so very much, Rachel, for sharing about the Dunbar Association and the important work that you're doing on behalf of Black and Brown people in our area. Thank you for being here today. So, and last but not least, I'm delighted to introduce our organizational partner in today's session and co-host, Dr. Laurie Clivic, to talk about her role as the Director of Senior Services at InterFaith Works. Through outreach, education, and community building, she advocates for the needs of older adults in Central New York so that people from diverse races, religions, and life experiences may continue to age with dignity. Laurie's PhD is in cultural anthropology, and her research in Oaxaca, Mexico, focused on community development, social inequality, identity, and organized change. Thank you, Laurie, for sharing about InterFaith Works programs to support seniors and older adults.
Thank you. It's a real pleasure to be here with all of you panelists, with Senator May, with her wonderful staff, and all the participants here who have come to learn and to share, hopefully, at the Q&A in a few minutes. Yeah, I'll just spend a few minutes talking about the services we have at InterFaith Works. We really focus, similarly to the other panelists, helping older adults to stay connected and active as they age. And we do that through, we have a couple of different streams of activities and programs. Our biggest set of programming is around recruiting older volunteers to serve as friendly visitors and companions for other older adults and other caregivers who need some extra support. So that is our Senior Companion program. And Senior Companion volunteers go into people's homes and provide transportation and do activities together and do fun things like go to the library or get that grocery shopping done at their grocery store of choice. Help with doctor's appointments, all the things that maybe an adult child or a caregiver or a friendly neighbor would do, but for people who really just don't have that person in their life anymore. So it's a really rewarding and engaging volunteer opportunity for older adults who have, as we've said, so much to still give, but don't really want a job anymore, right? They want to be volunteering and participating and building friendships and supporting other people as they age. We're fortunate to be able to provide those volunteers with a small stipend to help support the cost of volunteering. We provide insurance and lots of training, and it's a really engaged and really rewarding volunteer experience. We've been doing that program for 36 years, so we've been around for a long time. So it's a great opportunity to get involved. We have a similar program. So our senior companions can only go into people's homes. It's kind of, the restrictions of how that program works. But we also have some opportunities for volunteers to go into nursing homes, nursing home residents, although they're surrounded constantly by people. Many nursing home residents do not have visitors on a regular basis. And so we also recruit volunteers through that one-to-one program to provide a weekly visit. That's all we ask for, is a 1-hour commitment to go make a new friend, be that new point of contact, point of connection, that new person to bring joy and a little bit of light and energy into someone's life. So a couple of different volunteer opportunities to help older adults. We know that, we often think about volunteering as doing something good for the community. But when we volunteer, we're doing good for ourselves too, where, there's a lot of health benefits to volunteering. People who volunteer as they age live longer, live healthier, and more active and more just rewarding lives as they age. So if you're looking for a good volunteer experience, we can help you with that. We also are fortunate to have a neighborhood advisor like Sage and Dunbar. Our neighborhood advisor serves throughout Onondaga County with a focus on serving older adults with limited English. So understanding that if you have come to the US as an older adult, or perhaps aged in the US, but haven't learned English or understand all of the services, it can be really challenging to know how to get the information that you need to age well. Or if people are, caring for someone or helping someone else who's aging, we can help you get connected to services and resources through our neighborhood advisor. Similarly, we have programs for older refugees and older adults with limited English. InterFaith Works does have a very robust refugee resettlement program. And in senior services, we focus on helping the older adults of the family to learn English, to prepare for their citizenship, to learn about the community and have opportunities to socialize and be well with their peers. The weather, a lot of our most recent refugees have come from places like the Democratic Republic of Congo and Sudan, and places that are really warm, and Syracuse is not. And it can be really challenging to get around most of the year, both with our public transportation system and just the snow, which many people are not accustomed to. And so we try to provide opportunities for folks in the older refugee community to get together and to learn about Syracuse and have a chance to just have fun together and socialize. And we do provide some case management services for older refugees as well. And the final set of services we've really been building, it's since COVID, it's become really obvious to us that there is a significant digital divide for a lot of people in our community, and in very specific ways for older adults. And so for all of those of you who were able to connect with us today digitally, you have a level of comfort and accessibility with digital technology, but there's a lot of people who couldn't be with us today who would benefit from this conversation because they either don't have access to internet, affordable internet, access to affordable devices, or just the literacy needed to be able to join a Facebook live stream or join, register for a Zoom panel. And so we've been working for the past year and a half, offering some basic skills classes, providing people with low-cost devices. Sometimes we can provide an internet stipend to help people get signed up for internet, and really just building a comfort level with Zoom and email and, fun things like taking pictures or watching videos online or, connecting with friends and family locally and across the country. We try to do that in a real age-friendly way, understanding that learning something new can be a little intimidating. So we try to make it as fun as possible and as welcoming as possible for older adults so that they can participate and have fun, but also take care of themselves and do things like attend online classes to manage their health, or attend telehealth conferences with their doctors or their mental health specialists. So we're really excited to be rolling out and expanding that work as well. If you are interested in learning more about our services, if you want to get involved as a volunteer, you think you would benefit from a class, or if you or someone you know is an older adult with limited English and would like some help being more active and getting connected to services, you can contact us. I'll type my number in the chat in a minute, but it's 315-449-3552, and you can ask for the Senior Services Department, and we'd be glad to connect with you. Thank you.
Improve my typing, Laurie. I threw your number in.
Oh, you got it. Okay, thanks.
You're very welcome. All right, so thank you, Laurie, for sharing about the Senior Connections program. So opportunities to bring people together and to reduce isolation and really enhance quality of life. All of us need people nearby who can check in on us, something that it's part of being human. And so I'm delighted that there are so many programs available in our community, and that we had representatives from organizations who genuinely care and do good, important work. So we have another question for our audience now. Has any of the information shared today from the organization surprised you? Anything surprise you or strike you as especially interesting? And we'd also like to encourage you to post a question in the Q&A, or to raise your hand, which is an electronic button on your menu that says raise hand if you would like to ask a question.
I had a couple questions sent to me while people are getting warmed up. One person wants to know for Melissa and Maria from StateWide, how would a person go if they wanted to volunteer or get involved in StateWide? What would they do?
They can contact me. I'll put my information in the chat. So melissa@nysenior.org, and I'll put my phone number in there also. You can email me or call me, and I will get in touch with them to let them know when we can start meeting.
And then for Kim and her cat, who has joined the meeting.
So exciting to see the cat.
Yes, we love it. Are there any specific resources you have for people who want to advocate against you? You spoke about discriminating policies that are, building momentum across the country. And is SAGE doing anything or offering any resources to help with advocacy?
We're trying to raise awareness and trying to promote the visibility of safe spaces. Also on our website, we're doing a couple of other things. We have some programs with, events with some different programs, but on our website, there's a list of organizations that are in those affected areas, and there's ways that you can support them. So get on our website, take a look. If you don't see what you're looking for, call me, sageupstate.org and 478-1923, which I think Laurie already shared.
Thank you.
So a question came in about the information in the Senior Resource Guide and whether all the programs would be listed in there. So yes, all of the organizations who are here today are in our Senior Resource Guide. The specific individuals that you've met today will not be listed in there. So if you'd like to speak with them directly, feel free to ask if there's a number or a name that you have missed, and we can provide you with that direct contact information. So thank you for that question. And Pat, I'm appreciative of your comment. It was nice to get an update on Dunbar and Sage. And you're very welcome, Susie.
Ingrid, I also want to point people, if they're not following the chat, that you added some links. There had been some questions about updates on legislation and tax rebate and so forth. And so there are some links in the chat that might be of interest to you if you haven't been following along with those.
I am also putting in my email address. As we mentioned earlier in the program, we will be putting out an email with a recording of this session today, and that will include the link so that you can view the senior guide virtually. If you would like a hard copy, you can send me a request via the email that I just posted, or respond to the email with follow-up information from today's session. So we're happy to provide you with, a paper copy of the guide. If you prefer to have paper in hand, we're happy to get that to you. We do also have a Spanish version of the guide in development, so that will be available in a couple of weeks. So that information is coming shortly. So I'm just checking in with Dan or Nidecia to see if there's any final questions out there on Facebook. Feel free to share that with us.
None on Facebook, Ingrid.
Okay, all right, thank you, Nidecia. And the last question that we have for individuals on the webinar today is, what's one word that comes to mind that would describe how you're feeling or your response to the information? What's on your mind? So if you would be willing to type that into the chat, we'd love to hear back from you. So what's one word that captures how you're feeling right now? So Melissa, someone is looking for your contact information. So I'm going to go ahead and paste that. That's for Robert O'Connor.
Thank you.
I just repasted. And so far we're hearing moving in the right direction, informed, eager to get involved and help out. Excellent. Glad to hear all of those. That's encouraging. Quite often there are more resources available than we may realize. And forums like this really create an opportunity for people to learn and get connected with organizations of interest.
And I just have to put in a plug for the neighborhood advisor program. There are neighborhood advisors. Do you guys know? I don't remember how many there are. A dozen, 15 throughout Onondaga County, in most senior centers and community organizations. So if you are already, if you live up in Baldwinsville, there's one at Canton Woods. If you live, over in Peace Inc. has a couple. Like, there are neighborhood advisors everywhere, and they're a great first start. So if you're looking for a way to get started and you're not sure what your questions are, or you're just exploring your needs, neighborhood advisors in any of the organizations are a great start.
Excellent. Excellent. So I would like to thank all of the panelists for being with us today, for sharing information about the valuable programs that they offer, and for all the participants for taking time with us today for this session. We hope that this has helped you to learn how to, first, age your way. Information is power. Knowing about resources helps you to age well, whether it's health-related services or interesting ways to spend your time?
Ingrid, I'm so sorry to interrupt your flow, but there was an important question and a comment
Okay.
in the chat around the neighborhood advisors. Yes, there are neighborhood advisors who serve the rural areas. And as Pat Campany commented, the best way to learn about the neighborhood advisor in your community and where you live is calling the Office for Aging. And I'm just going to look up their number, but if somebody knows it off the top of their head, it's the Onondaga County Office for Aging, and I can't, oh, there we go. Ellen McCauley's on the call. Ellen McCauley works for the Office for Aging, and she's written the phone number there. So it's 315-435-2362. And that is the best way to start getting information about the network of services and resources and activities and volunteer opportunities and so forth for older adults in our community. And through them, you'll get connected to SAGE or Dunbar or the Senior Center or the organization that's best for what your needs and your preferences are. Thanks, Ellen, for saving me.
Oh, thank you, Ellen, for that. And if anyone is on the session today and is from Madison or Oneida counties, there's also offices in those locations as well. And I am looking for, there's a Canastota office and their number is 315-697-5700. So that will help you connect with the Madison County Office for the Aging. So there is an office in every county of the state. If we have anyone from outside of our area participating, you're able to just Google that or follow the path that Laurie recommended, which is to start with a neighborhood advisor and they can help direct you. Oh, thank you, Ellen. She just added the list for the state offices. Wonderful. We appreciate you. And I have reposted my email again regarding the senior guides. Any other questions? We'll work on our wrap up again. Next. So in addition to aging your way, connection. Laurie, do you want to touch on connection? No, you're good. Okay. Too many older adults are isolated, facing health impacts that result from isolation. And you heard about a number of programs that help you to stay engaged with other people. And last, to stay vibrant. Staying active and contributing to the community is life-giving for both the individual and the recipient. So thank you to our panelists today for sharing ideas for ways to thrive and stay vibrant as we all age. Enjoy the rest of your day, aging your way. Thank you, everyone.